The Nexian Empire's grand observation vessel hung in high orbit above Earth, its crystalline hull refracting sunlight in dazzling patterns across the planet's atmosphere. Supreme Observer Kallax stood at the command deck's viewport, three sets of eyes fixed on the blue world below with barely concealed disdain. The planet had been classified as a protected conservation zone for primitive centuries ago, and nothing had changed their assessment since. Another waste of resources, Kallax muttered, mandibles clicking in irritation. These humans haven't even unified their planet, still burning hydrocarbons, fighting primitive wars, polluting their seas. He turned to address his aide. Prepare the standard report for the Imperial Archives. Species shows minimal advancement potential. Recommend continued quarantine status. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in a facility unknown to all but a select few humans, Director Sarah Chen watched the real-time feed of Kallax's conversation with a slight smile. The quantum observation array that allowed her team to peer into any vessel in orbit had been operational for 15 years now, one of countless breakthrough technologies humanity had reverse-engineered while staying carefully hidden from their would-be overlords. They still think we can't detect their observation cloaks, she commended to her Chief of Operations, Dr. James Okonjo. The Nexians are so convinced of their superiority that they never consider someone might have surpassed their technology. James nodded, dark eyes reflecting the holographic displays surrounding them. Their arrogance makes our job easier. The latest tests on the quantum mirror drive are exceeding all expectations. We can now cloak an object as large as a carrier group with zero energy signature leakage. The facility, known only as Deep Harbor, was humanity's best-kept secret. For 50 years, the world's governments had maintained a careful facade of division and technological stagnation, all while pooling their resources into a hidden space program that would eventually free not just Earth, but countless other worlds from Nexian dominion. Sarah moved to the central command table, where a holographic representation of Earth's hidden fleet hung like stars in the darkness. Over 300 vessels, from agile corvettes to massive carriers, all incorporating technologies that would seem like magic to their alien observers. But they weren't magic. They were the product of human ingenuity, determination, and the unique advantage of being perpetually underestimated. Status report on the Hyperion battle group, she asked, focusing on the largest cluster of ships hidden in the Marianas Trench. All systems nominal, James replied, pulling up detailed diagnostics. Admiral Hassan reports the crews are at 98% readiness. The new neural interface systems are fully integrated, giving our pilots reaction times that would make a Nexian's head spin. Quantum computers are operational, and the AI support networks are running at optimal efficiency. Sarah allowed herself a moment of pride. The neural interfaces were perhaps their greatest achievement, a perfect merger of human intuition and artificial intelligence that would give their ships capabilities far beyond anything the Nexians could imagine. While the aliens relied on pure AI for their automated systems, humanity had found a way to create true human-machine synthesis. The facility's quantum sensors suddenly registered increased activity from the observation vessel above. Sarah and James turned their attention to the feeds as Kallax received what appeared to be an urgent communication. Fascinating, James murmured, the translation software decoding the alien language in real time. They're being recalled for some kind of emergency. Something about unusual activity in the Helios sector. Sarah's expression hardened. The Helios sector was home to the Arcturians, one of the few species that had managed to maintain some degree of independence from the Nexian Empire. If they were in trouble, it might force humanity to accelerate their timeline. Contact the Security Council, she ordered. I want a full briefing prepared within the hour. If the Nexians are moving against the Arcturians, we may need to show our hand sooner than planned. As the observation vessel disappeared into hyperspace, Sarah walked to her private office, mind racing with possibilities. On her desk sat a small hologram of her daughter, taken just before she disappeared to take command of Deep Harbor. The girl would be in college now, studying quantum physics, still believing her mother had died in a research accident years ago. "Everything we've sacrificed," she whispered, touching the hologram gently. "It's all been for you. For your future. For everyone's future." The quantum comlink on her desk chimed softly. The Security Council was assembling. Soon, they would decide whether humanity would maintain its charade of primitive development or finally reveal the full extent of their capabilities to a galaxy that had dismissed them for so long. Sarah straightened her uniform and headed for the briefing room. Whatever they decided, one thing was certain. The Nexian Empire was about to learn that they should have paid much closer attention to the supposedly primitive species they'd locked away in their conservation zone. The game of hide-and-seek was coming to an end, and humanity was ready to show the galaxy that they'd been holding the winning hand all along. Admiral David Hassan stood in a massive underground hangar of Deep Harbor, watching as engineers made final adjustments to the quantum mirror drive of the HSS Hyperion. The flagship of Earth's hidden fleet stretched nearly a kilometer in length, its obsidian hull designed to absorb not just light, but every form of detectable energy. Beautiful, isn't she? Commander Maya Rodriguez appeared at his side, her dark hair streaked with silver from 2 decades of pushing human technology beyond its supposed limits. The quantum mirror drive isn't just about cloaking anymore. We've found a way to use it offensively. Hassan raised an eyebrow. "Explain." Maya gestured to a nearby holographic display. "We can project false sensor readings, make one ship look like 100 or 100 ships disappear completely. We can even reflect enemy weapons fire back at them. The Nexians won't just be fighting blind, they'll be fighting themselves." The Emergency Security Council meeting had ended hours ago with a decisive vote. The Arcturians' distress signal, intercepted by Deep Harbor's quantum arrays, had confirmed their worst fears. The Nexian Empire was launching a full-scale invasion of the last semi-independent sector in their sphere of influence. "Director Chen," Hassan called out as Sarah entered the hangar. "Is the Council's authorization package complete?" Sarah nodded, her expression grim. "Operation Oracle is greenlit. We launch in 72 hours. The Nexians are marshaling their forces at Helios Prime. If we're going to save the Arcturians, it has to be now." For decades, Project Oracle had been humanity's contingency plan, a coordinated strike that would reveal Earth's true capabilities while simultaneously crippling the Empire's ability to retaliate. The plan had been refined countless times, but they'd hoped to have another year of preparation. "Show me the latest Arcturian intel," Hassan requested. The holographic display shifted to show the Helios sector. Hundreds of Nexian warships were gathering, their energy signatures blazing like angry red stars against the backdrop of space. Maya manipulated the display, highlighting key tactical positions. The Arcturians have significant planetary defenses, but they won't hold against this kind of firepower. The Nexians are deploying their new siege platforms. They mean to make an example of them. "Not if we make an example first," Sarah interjected. She expanded a portion of the map showing a critical Nexian supply line. "We've identified their primary logistics hub here, in the Thanatos system. Take that out, and their invasion force will be cut off from reinforcement and resupply." Hassan studied the tactical overlay. The Thanatos system was heavily defended, but the quantum mirror drive would allow them to slip past the outer defenses undetected. If they could destroy the hub, it would throw the entire Nexian war machine into chaos. "What about the other ships?" he asked, thinking of the hundreds of vessels hidden in oceans and underground bases across Earth. "Are they ready?" "As ready as they'll ever be," Maya confirmed. "Every captain and crew has undergone full neural interface integration. The AI support networks are operating at peak efficiency. We've even managed to upgrade the quantum mirror drives with the latest reflection protocols." Sarah moved to stand before the massive viewport overlooking the Hyperion. "I've already contacted our sleeper agents throughout the Empire. The moment we strike, they'll begin transmitting evidence of other Nexian atrocities to every suppressed world in the galaxy. The Empire won't just be fighting us. They'll be facing internal rebellion on a massive scale. The plan was audacious, perhaps even reckless, but humanity had spent generations preparing for this moment. While the Nexians had watched their surface with smug superiority, humanity had been building, learning, and advancing in secret. Every perceived weakness had become a strength, every dismissive assessment, a shield behind which they'd grown stronger. "Begin launch preparations," Hassan ordered. "I want every ship ready for quantum insertion within 48 hours. We'll strike Thanatos with the main fleet while smaller battle groups move to protect the Arcturians." The Nexians believe they're about to crush the last vestige of resistance in their empire. Instead, they're about to face an enemy they never knew existed. As klaxons began to sound throughout Deep Harbor, Hassan thought about the generations of humans who had lived and died maintaining this secret. Scientists, soldiers, politicians, all playing their parts in a grand deception that was about to turn the galaxy on its head. "One more thing," Sarah added, her voice carrying across the bustling hangar. "The Council has authorized the release of the quantum transmission codes. The moment we reveal ourselves, every human on Earth will learn the truth. The time for hiding is over." Maya's eyes widened. "The public backlash will be managed," Sarah assured her. "We've had plans in place for decades. More importantly, humanity needs to be united when we take our place on the galactic stage." Hassan nodded solemnly. In 72 hours, everything would change. Earth would shed its mask of primitive development and reveal itself as a technological superpower. The Nexian Empire would learn that their greatest mistake had been underestimating the very species they dismissed as unworthy of attention. "Send word to all ships," he commanded. "Project Oracle is now active. Humanity steps out of the shadows in 3 days. Make every hour count." Throughout Deep Harbor and in hidden bases across the planet, humanity's secret fleet began to power up. The quantum mirror drives hummed to life, bending reality itself to hide their existence for just a little while longer. Soon, the galaxy would learn that humanity had never been primitive. They had simply been patient. The HFY Hyperion slid through the darkness of the Thanatos system like a phantom, its quantum mirror drive bending light and energy around the massive vessel as if it didn't exist. On the bridge, Admiral Hassan watched the tactical display as hundreds of Nexian ships moved through their patrol routes, completely unaware of the human fleet scattered throughout their defense grid. "All ships report ready," Commander Rodriguez announced from her station. The neural interface web shimmered around her head, connecting her directly to the ship's quantum systems. "Quantum mirror drives are synchronized. We can drop the cloak simultaneously across the entire fleet." Hassan nodded, feeling the familiar pressure of the neural interface connecting his consciousness to the Hyperion's AI core. Through the interface, he could sense every ship in his fleet, their crews linked in a vast network of shared awareness that the Nexians couldn't begin to comprehend. "Send the final authorization code," he ordered. "Commence Operation Oracle on my mark." The Thanatos system was the beating heart of Nexian logistics in this sector of space. Massive orbital facilities processed resources stripped from 1,000 worlds, while automated factories churned out weapons and ships for the Empire's endless expansion. Its loss would cripple their military operations across multiple sectors. "Message from Director Chen," Maya reported. "The quantum transmission to Earth has begun. By the time we reveal ourselves, everyone back home will know the truth." Hassan took a deep breath, considering the millions of humans who were about to learn that their species had been secretly preparing for this moment for generations. There would be chaos, confusion, anger, but also pride and determination. Humanity would face this challenge united. "All ships, execute primary attack pattern," he commanded. "Quantum mirror disengagement in 3, 2, 1. Across the Thanatos system, space itself seemed to shatter as hundreds of Earth vessels materialized simultaneously. The Hyperion appeared less than a kilometer from the system's main production facility, its obsidian hull drinking in the light of the nearby sun. The Nexian response was immediate but confused. Defense platforms swiveled frantically, trying to target ships that their sensors could barely understand. Patrol vessels scrambled to combat positions, only to find themselves firing at sensor ghosts created by the quantum mirror drive's reflection protocols. First wave, weapons free, Hassan ordered. Show them what we can do. The Hyperion's main batteries opened up, firing exotic particles accelerated to near-light speed. Where they struck Nexian shields, the particles phased through the energy barriers as if they didn't exist, ripping through hull plating at the quantum level. Smaller human vessels darted between the massive Nexian warships, their advanced targeting systems finding weaknesses that the Empire's engineers had never thought to protect. Multiple Nexian capital ships disabled, Maya reported, her voice tight with controlled excitement. Their shield harmonics can't adapt to our weapons. They're completely vulnerable. The space around them erupted in a symphony of destruction as human vessels executed maneuvers that should have been impossible, their neural-linked crews reacting with computer-enhanced speed and precision. Nexian ships fired desperately at targets that disappeared and reappeared at will, their shots often reflected back at them by the quantum mirror technology. Sir, Maya's voice cut through the chaos. We're detecting quantum wake signatures, heavy reinforcements incoming from the Helios sector. Hassan smiled grimly. Right on schedule. The invasion force is abandoning their attack on the Arcturians to defend their supply lines. Signal the second wave. It's time to spring the trap. As if summoned by his words, another fleet of Earth vessels materialized from quantum space. These ships were different, smaller, faster, equipped with experimental weapons that the Nexian Empire had never encountered. They swarmed the arriving reinforcements like angry wasps, their quantum-tipped missiles phasing through shields to detonate inside vital systems. Message from the Arcturian Defense Command, Maya announced. They're watching the battle through their long-range sensors. They're asking who we are. Send them the prepared response, Hassan ordered. Let them know that humanity stands with them against Nexian oppression, and tell them to prepare their forces. We're about to clear a path for them to join the fight. The battle for Thanatos Station had become a massacre. Nexian ships, designed to fight conventional enemies with conventional tactics, found themselves helpless against an opponent that could appear anywhere, strike from impossible angles, and vanish before they could respond. Their vaunted automated systems, which they had always considered superior to organic crews, proved fatally inflexible against the hybrid human-AI neural networks. Primary targets are 70% destroyed, Maya reported. The remaining Nexian forces are attempting to retreat, but our quantum wake disruptors are preventing them from entering FTL. Hassan watched as another Nexian battleship succumbed to concentrated fire, its reactor going critical in a spectacular explosion. The Empire had built their military on the assumption that they were technologically superior to all other species. That assumption had just cost them their most important logistics hub and a significant portion of their fleet. Send word to Earth, he ordered. Phase 1 of Operation Oracle is complete. The galaxy now knows that humanity isn't just ready for the stars. We're ready to reshape them. As the last Nexian ships were disabled or destroyed, Hassan allowed himself a moment to appreciate the historic significance of what they had just accomplished. In less than an hour, humanity had gone from being perceived as primitive savages to revealing themselves as perhaps the most technologically advanced species in known space. The quantum comlink chimed with an incoming transmission from Earth. Director Chen's holographic form appeared on the bridge, her expression both proud and concerned. The public announcement has been made, she reported. The whole world knows now. And Admiral, they're ready. Every nation, every people, they want to fight. The Nexians thought they were containing us. They were just giving us time to perfect our revenge. The Arcturian High Council chamber fell silent as Admiral Hassan's hologram materialized in their midst. The alien leaders, their crystalline bodies refracting light in complex patterns that reflected their emotional states, studied the human representative with a mixture of awe and suspicion. For centuries, we believed we were alone in our resistance to the Empire. First speaker Lyrics said, her crystalline form pulsing with deep blue light. Now we learn that humanity has not only advanced beyond our imagining, but has dealt the Nexians their first major defeat in a millennium. We've been preparing for this moment since they first quarantined Earth, Hassan replied. But we need allies, not just victories. The Nexians have already begun pulling forces from across their empire to counter our fleet. The tactical display in the center of the chamber updated, showing the movement of massive Nexian battle groups converging on the Hylia sector. The destruction of their logistics hub at Thanatos had enraged the Empire, but it had also revealed a fundamental truth. Their technological supremacy was a myth. On Earth, Director Chen was coordinating with the newly unified Planetary Defense Force. The public revelation of humanity's true technological status had initially caused chaos, but as news of the victory at Thanatos spread, shock had turned to determination. Centuries of hiding, of playing the primitive species, had forged humanity into a weapon that the Nexians never saw coming. We've detected quantum wake signatures approaching the Duraxis colony, Maya reported through the neural interface. The Nexians are attempting to make an example of weaker worlds to discourage them from joining us. Hassan's expression hardened. Show me. The tactical display shifted, revealing a Nexian punishment fleet approaching a small agricultural world. The colony's population, a mixture of various subjugated species, had little in the way of defensive capabilities. They were about to learn that they had powerful new protectors. Battle Group Artemis is already in position, Hassan informed the Arcturian Council. Watch and see how humanity fights for those who cannot fight for themselves. The quantum mirror drives of Earth's ships had been modified further since the Battle of Thanatos. Now they could not only cloak themselves, but also extend their quantum field to protect other vessels and even small planets. As the Nexian fleet moved to bombard Duraxis, they found their weapons passing harmlessly through phantom images, while the real colony remained untouched. Magnificent, Lyrics whispered as human ships materialized among the Nexian fleet, their advanced weapons tearing through Imperial defenses. Your technology. It defies everything we thought we knew about physical laws. We had to think differently, Hassan explained. The Nexians believed that their understanding of science was absolute. We proved that there were other paths, other ways of manipulating reality itself. The battle for Duraxis was over almost before it began. The Nexian punishment fleet, equipped with weapons designed to terrorize helpless colonies, found itself outmaneuvered and outgunned by human vessels that seemed to ignore the basic rules of space combat. Within hours, the Imperial ships were reduced to drifting hulks. But the victory at Duraxis was just the beginning. Across the Empire, other subjugated species were rising up, inspired by humanity's example. The Nexians found themselves fighting not just Earth's advanced fleet, but 100 internal rebellions, each supported by human technology and tactics. Director Chen reports that the quantum communication network is operational, Maya announced. We can now coordinate with resistance forces across the entire empire in real time. The Arcturian Council Chambers display updated again, showing the spread of rebellion across Nexian space. What had begun as a single decisive strike at Thanatos had become a galaxy-wide revolution. Species that had been ground under the Empire's heel for generations were suddenly finding hope in humanity's emergence. We've received transmissions from 17 different species requesting alliance and support, Maya continued. The Nexians' greatest weakness was their own arrogance. They never considered that their primitive subjects might be capable of advancing beyond them. Asen turned back to the Arcturian Council. This is why we've revealed ourselves now. The Empire is vulnerable not because of our technology alone, but because every world they've oppressed is ready to break free. We can provide the means, but we need allies who understand the galaxy beyond Earth. Lyrix's crystalline form pulsed with brilliant colors as she conferred with her fellow council members. Finally, she stepped forward. The Arcturian Confederation stands with Earth. Our fleets are yours to command. Our technology, while perhaps not as advanced as yours, has its own strengths. Together, we can show the galaxy that the age of Nexian dominion is over." As if to emphasize her words, another tactical update arrived. The Nexians had launched a desperate strike at Earth itself, thinking to crush the uprising at its source. Instead, their fleet had encountered humanity's home defense grid, a network of quantum-powered weapons platforms that reduced the Imperial Armada to atoms. "The Empire made one fundamental mistake," Hassan told the Council. "They thought they were containing us, studying us like specimens in a zoo. Instead, they gave us time to advance, to prepare, to surpass them in every way that mattered. Now they're learning that humanity doesn't take kindly to being caged." The quantum comlink chimed with priority messages from across former Imperial space. More rebellions, more victories, more species throwing off their chains and reaching for the stars with newfound freedom. The galaxy was changing, and humanity was leading the charge into a new era. The battle erupted around them as the combined fleet engaged the Imperial defenses. Human quantum mirror drives had been shared with their allies, allowing Arcturian, Duraxian, and other ships to strike from impossible angles. The Nexians found themselves fighting an enemy that could appear anywhere, their defensive formations crumbling against attacks they couldn't predict or counter. "Multiple breaches in their defense grid," Maya announced. "The Arcturian crystal ships are performing exactly as planned. Their resonance weapons are devastating the Nexian shield harmonics." This was humanity's greatest achievement, not just advancing beyond the Empire, but teaching others to do the same. Earth's scientists had worked tirelessly to adapt their quantum technology for use by their allies, creating a combined force that fought with strengths the Nexians had never imagined possible. "Your empire is finished," Hassan told Vex. "Not because we destroyed it, but because you never understood the power of cooperation, of different species working together as equals. Every world you oppressed is now rising up, armed with technology that makes yours obsolete." The Hyperion shuddered as it absorbed a direct hit from a Nexian dreadnought. But the quantum mirror drive didn't just cloak the ship anymore. It redirected the energy of the attack back at the attacker, causing the massive Imperial vessel to explode as its own weapon's power was reflected upon it. "Director Chen," Hassan called out, "is the quantum network in position?" Sarah nodded, her hologram flickering with the energy of nearby explosions. "All Allied ships are synchronized. On your command, Admiral." Hassan took a deep breath, feeling the neural interface connect him not just to his ship, but to the entire combined fleet. What they were about to attempt had never been done before. A synchronized quantum mirror field that would encompass an entire star system. "All ships, execute final protocol," he ordered. "Show them what unity truly means." Across the Nexus system, hundreds of ships activated their quantum mirror drives in perfect synchronization. Space itself seemed to fold and twist as reality bent to the combined will of dozens of species working in harmony. The Nexian fleet found itself trapped in a quantum maze, their weapons and sensors useless against an enemy that could rewrite the laws of physics on a systemic scale. "Impossible," Vex whispered, watching his mighty fleet tear itself apart in confusion. "What are you?" "We are the future," Hassan replied simply. "A future where no species claims dominion over another, where advancement comes through cooperation rather than conquest. Your empire taught the galaxy fear. We'll teach it hope." The battle for Nexus Prime ended not with a grand explosion or a desperate last stand, but with a surrender. Supreme Commander Vex, watching the last of his fleet reduced to drifting debris by weapons he couldn't understand, finally acknowledged what the Empire had refused to see for centuries. They were no longer the most advanced species in the galaxy. In the aftermath, as representatives from dozens of liberated worlds gathered in the former Imperial Palace, Director Chen addressed the assembled species. The Nexian Empire rose through division and conquest. What replaces it must be built on unity and mutual respect. Earth doesn't seek to rule. We seek to share our knowledge, to help all species reach their full potential. The Galactic Republic was born that day, founded not on principles of superiority or domination, but on cooperation and shared advancement. The Nexians, stripped of their empire but offered membership as equals, would learn what humanity had known all along. True strength comes not from forcing others to submit, but from working together to achieve the impossible. Admiral Hassan stood at the palace viewport, watching ships from 24 species moving peacefully through Nexian space. The quantum mirror drives that had won the war would now power a new age of exploration and discovery. Humanity had emerged from its cage not as conquerors, but as teachers, ready to share the fruits of centuries of hidden advancement with a galaxy eager to learn. They thought they were studying a primitive species, he mused to Maya, who stood beside him. Instead, they gave us the perfect laboratory to surpass them. Sometimes the best place to hide is right in plain sight. As the first dawn of the new republic broke over Nexus Prime, the galaxy looked toward a future where no species would be dismissed as primitive, where advancement would come through cooperation rather than competition. Humanity had not just broken free of its cage, it had shown the galaxy a better way forward, one quantum leap at a time.